everybody, and welcome to the new normal with Lisa Davis, aka Like Queen Lisa. And today is Truth Tuesday, so my buddy Satoshi Sean is waiting on the other side, and I must ask him a question right after this. Do you like my joke?
Yes.
I'm the funny one, you know.
You are the hilarious one.
So I must ask you a question.
Sure. Go ahead. You mustache me. Go ahead.
Is it No Shave November yet? Or are you just planning ahead?
No, my beard is just like getting scraggly, so I thought I should shave it. But
Oh. It's not that you didn't have a mustache. It's that you shaved your beard.
Yeah, I just shaved the beard off because it was not as full as I wanted it. Walmart had these on sale for 98 cents.
What are they?
They're pina coladas. I thought they were full size, but
But they don't have alcohol in them, right?
Oh, they're very strong, actually. I was just surprised.
Well, cheers, because it's Tuesday.
Cheers.
I'm having a Miller Lite.
Oh yeah, geez, they're 25 proof, man. This little thing, that's why I thought it would be weak.
25 proof.
Classified as a wine colada.
Well, go easy. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening today. Apparently it's been happening since Friday, but the news is coming out today. They walked a guy out of the FBI that was involved with Hunter's laptop as well as the Trump investigation. Joe Biden has completely flipped the script, he's not writing anything, let's be honest. He wants to fund the police. He wants to, what was the other thing that I sent you? I sent you two different clips.
Mexico, because we're sending all guns to Mexico and ruining their country and everything. Yeah, so.
And the border is a mess, he's decided. He's worried about Mexico. I'm like, what is going on? Ted Cruz went to visit a Bitcoin mining facility today.
We have a lot of them in Texas now.
Yeah, there are a lot. Mm-hmm. South Korea or North Korea? Now I can't remember which Korea. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I was trying to crash news. South Korea plans to scale down its reliance on renewable energy resources and boost nuclear generation to meet its tougher climate goal. I watched a documentary on nuclear resources, and there's this whole group of people who believe it's very safe, and this one lady who swims in the water outside nuclear places and stuff. Anyway, I think we're going to see more and more of that. I think that is going to be
in the winter. I don't know.
In the nuclear,
I was making a joke. Sorry, I'm not the hilarious one, but I was trying.
Oh, sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get information out. There's just a lot happening. Fed Now has been announced. We talked about that on Friday, I guess. Or no, yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. I talked about it briefly. I did a 7-minute video by myself because I had all kinds of technical difficulty yesterday. Carly was on for a second, and then once we decided to go live, she couldn't get back on, and then
We've
Mom
had
decided she
thunderstorm
couldn't.
here all day, really, really bad one. We've had a lot of rain recently. We're having a flood watch
Mhm.
right now. We're in my town. We're flooding, but
They're
I
also
think
anticipating a lot of storms off the East Coast.
we
Um,
need the rain here bad. It's been really dry, but
yeah.
it's like everything else. We get everything all at once, and then get floods and cause problems. But what are you gonna do?
They were also like, was it the governor of Mississippi was telling people to get out. They were worried about people with flooding and things like that. And like we were at the Katrina anniversary. We're at like kind of some of the historical times of storms right now. And they're busing all these um, people, uh, illegals, up to New York and supposedly putting them up in hotels and stuff. Um, I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting.
That is something that I saw that California is looking at making a law um, where hotels, and this is it's so I think it's so terrible.
It's probably not true.
It's true. They want to make
Okay.
a law where every hotel has to um, take homeless people and give them rooms every day. It's going to be a daily thing. They'll have to submit how many empty rooms they have at 2 p.m. and then those rooms can be offered to homeless people to go and stay there. Which, as
Well,
a
so is that in hand with, because I was seeing that businesses in California were refusing to pay their taxes because they couldn't get people to come in their stores because of the homeless problem.
yeah,
Like the streets are unsafe and
well,
people
I
don't
talked
want
about
to
that one
shop and
business where they are
all
banning
that.
masks. You can't wear a mask in their in
Oh, because it's
L.A.
dangerous
or
for their,
wherever. It was
yeah,
the guy's like, hey, man, we keep getting robbed.
yeah,
5 years ago, I remember when it all started. I was like, you can go in the bank, with a mask and a hoodie on. Before you would be like
yeah,
accosted
yeah.
immediately
The
if you're.
security guard would have
And now
jumped
it's
you.
like, hey,
Yeah,
where's your mask and your hoodie? What are you doing? This is the
yeah.
bank. Put that on. It was so weird to me.
It is weird.
I went into the bank and I had a full gas mask on, just like as a joke. And some people were like, "Good on you." I'm like, "It's a joke, man. This is for war. I'm at the bank." But yeah,
I accept your
but yeah,
mental
California, they're
illness.
finally starting to revolt, which I think is way past due.
Yeah,
And it was
it's
always
about
like,
time.
"Oh, Northern California is different. The whole state is very different. That's just really LA and California, and that doesn't represent the whole." You know, there's so many states that are north and south, or west, or whatever. I think it's past time, for California to be North and South California. I think that
That's
should be it.
very possible. I mean, with what's going on with you, watching where these states are making decisions, like as like what we were talking about on World Blockchain Roundtable, like as nation states. I mean, you're seeing independent militaries being
Hmm.
formed within states. You're seeing Arizona telling the governor telling there's the state members, like, if these Fed people come into your that those laws don't apply to you, protecting them from that. So I could see even then
Also,
people
a big,
understanding that
like,
counties and
a
cities.
secondary part of that, a big thing that I think is a huge deal, is when I forget. I think it was Arizona that said they were going to stand up against the federal government, but then Texas said, "Hey, we have your back if they do anything," and then Florida said, "Yeah, we have your back as well." So when states are doing that, where they're forming a coalition, and it bothers me that it's all the South again, and it's like the South will rise again, and it's just such a it brings up connotations of bad stuff, but it really is mainly, but when I it's not really, it's mainly the southern states that we hear about. But Oregon, there's states that are trying to secede from the state and become part of Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't hear about that. And my friend that lives in Oregon is like, "What do you mean you don't hear about it? It's on the news. Like, it's on your local news, Robert. No one in the country knows that even is happening." Um, which, if that's not suppression, I don't know what is. Um, the fact that New Hampshire is trying to secede. There's all these huge movements that nobody talks about
There's a lot of news nobody talks about.
because they don't want people to know, and people to know just that they can do that. I mean, when you talk about people that are, I think, under 40, they have no idea what their rights are anymore because they weren't taught them in government schools. They were
Mm-hmm.
not taught civics. They were not taught about what rights they have and what they need to stand up for. But things are changing in a lot of states. Here, there's school systems that are giving the middle finger, to the federal government, and they're arming teachers. They're like, we don't care. It's if you're in a you have the right to carry,
Mm-hmm.
Constitution carry.
No, I had a friend ask me, she was like, well, I don't think I'm allowed to. And I was like,
Yeah,
why do you think you're not allowed to?
it's like, is this even
I
legal?
was like, do you know that the Constitution is based on the Magna Carta, which is based on your God-given rights to protect yourself?
And
You're
that's another thing.
allowed to.
I have seen that, Lisa, because I think it was Russell did a show on it, Russell Brand, and he was talking about the Magna Carta and all these things that, like, people in the UK, they're like, Americans don't know their rights. They've forgotten their rights. But a lot of the stuff that's based on was based on stuff that we have. We have rights for this. And they have a lot less than we do. But they've forgotten, and they've been
Yeah.
kind of taught that they can't do so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I sent you that one article about how in Belton, the police took a secondary oath to the schools and to children
Yes.
that they will charge into any kind of harm's
Mm-hmm.
way, that they will not let happen what has happened in Uvalde.
Yeah.
I think when police are taking another oath, it's just such a it's like we're starting over. It is a good reset, and it's a lot of states and a lot of legacy institutions like the police. I think they're having this inner turmoil, and they're separating themselves from kind of that caste of that way of thinking. Um, like, I remember when I was a kid, and it was sexist, but it was right. I still agree with it, that women couldn't be firemen because they weren't physically capable. Overall, yes, there's people that are physically capable as women. Um, you know,
Brienne of Tar.
I think most men, can beat up any woman. Ronda Rousey would kick. Yeah, Ronda Rousey, fine. But those are genetic freaks. That's a bad word to use, but they are. So I was 100% for women to be firemen, but they had to take the same test. If they
Yeah, I
couldn't, like,
agree.
climb a ladder with 100 pounds, or then you can't do it. And
Especially when you're talking about the
saving
cost
lives.
of someone's life,
Yes,
saving lives.
like,
That
that's when it doesn't matter.
changes the bar.
Women should be
Yeah.
like, women being in combat. That was literally just, we didn't want women to be in combat and die. It was like that was more social. So fine, women could be in combat, but when it came to, like, literal physical science, which that's what they've thrown out the window now, um, that mattered because it was someone's life. But then I thought, you know what? If some people can, then they should be allowed to. If you can pass the test and you're a female, then you should be able to get the job, be a firefighter. But then a few years later, it's like, well, we need to make it different for different people, and that's like, no. That's the whole point, man. When it comes to like security in people's lives,
Mm-hmm.
you have
we
to.
don't make adjustments in that.
You can't make adjustments. You can't be political. You can't worry about someone's feelings. It either is or it isn't, and that's what they've changed. It either is or it isn't.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. So there's a lot going on financially as well. We're seeing like the whole, loan forgiveness thing, the T-bills. There was a announcement with the where is it now? The Wait a minute, I sent it to you. Pope Francis has ordered all affiliate financial and liquid assets to be transferred to the Vatican Bank by October 1st.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So is it September 1st or October 1st that is the fiscal new year?
I think it's September.
Okay.
Computer, when does the fiscal new year start?
Here's something I found on Drive. According to dinardaily.net, new fiscal year for most all USA federal agencies starts on October 1st.
October 1st.
Okay. So there's like this whole thing. Okay, so October 1st. I'm going to do more research on this, but I have my friend that's Jewish that is sharing with me all these feasts of the Lord and the timing of it, and Rosh Hashanah that Bix brought up, and this timings of the
I thought it was like September 27th, actually.
that's towards the end of September. So the dates are, and that's where, okay, so the end of, hold on. This is very interesting. And then the wording of some of this stuff is kind of wild too. So in September, Rosh Hashanah is the 25th. It's a new moon, and the Queen's birthday is on the 26th. And the UN's International Day of Peace is the 21st of September.
27th, it all goes down.
Actually, no, I think it's going to be like kind of maybe that weekend. I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of us will know. But there's a 10 days. You know how they talk about the 10 days of darkness? There's 10 days from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. And when I'm reading about, she gave me so much information. I really appreciate it.
It's pronounced Yom Kippur.
No.
So you know.
So Rosh Hashanah is about like God coming back and preparing for that. And I'm going to do I'm going to learn more first when I talk about this. I want to reread this and take more time. But it's when they talk about the Yom Kippur, it's about, here's the words. You are blessed because of Yeshua's blood was shed as atonement for our sin. You have promise of an inheritance and being created. It's freeing the slaves. A mindset of breaking free from bondage of an orphan, entitled, and a religious spirit.
Why are they transferring liquid assets? Don't they need that to do good wherever they are? Aren't liquid assets used to buy like food for the poor? And
this is all happening at the same time. Yes, October 1st is, so the new year is actually not October 1st for the Jewish calendar. The Jewish calendar is Rosh Hashanah is the new year, from what I had learned.
Well, that's very interesting.
So, and
I don't
then
know.
they talk about all the prophetic stuff with the end times and the significance of that. And anyway, she gave me so much information. So I'm going to do more studying on all this. But they even talk about people being asleep. And
Speaking of that, if you people, and I'm talking about you people, step out of your bubble, step out of your echo chamber, and look at some of these other people. Look at their Twitter, read the comments. There's so many people that are just, man, isn't Biden great? Isn't everything on track? They think our country's on track. There are people talking about how we're finally, after decades, on the right track. Yeah, things are a little tough, but that's because we're going the right way and we're turning away from all the bad stuff. Blows my mind. I mean, I have family nights tomorrow, and I'm worried about it for next week because to make a lasagna cost me $100.
wow.
I mean, it's just everything is so expensive. Everything is like at least 50% more. I mean, if it's like that was $1, now it's $1.50. That's 50%, man. So your order that usually was $60 is now $90. It's a huge difference, 50%. So a lot of things they're just they're like luxury items. Like, oh, we have to get the cheap Parmesan. I mean, we're Parmesan cheese. That shouldn't be a luxury item for people. There's so many things now that are becoming like you have to think about it. Hey, do you want to go to
But
the
this
park?
is so in
Do we have
this,
to drive?
but
Play in the
this is
backyard,
part of
kid.
the Great Awakening. And in there says there is a Great Awakening
But
in the
that's what I
church
was
to
saying. There
connect
is
our
so many
roots.
people that are asleep. If you step out of your echo chamber and stop watching us and go watch, some liberal person, they're like, oh man, everything's great. This is just a temporary thing, but everything's on track. Things are getting better. Oh, President Joe with his aviator glasses is so cool. And you're like, I really think he's peeing his pants in a diaper up there. And he poops himself. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't make fun of it. He's old. And you can see he's senile. To say he's tough, I remember when he first got elected. If you ever watch Super Troopers, they have a show where they're firemen. And the one guy has a really hot daughter. And she was talking about, she had a sex dream about Joe Biden. It's right after the election.
Disgusting.
And she was talking, I was like, are they trying to push him as like a sex symbol? Because he's 90 years old. And he's like your great grandpa's grandpa. I said, they're not going to do this. And it was just so weird and creepy to me that they were trying to push him as a sex symbol. It was just odd.
It's really gross.
Yeah, it was. It was a little disturbing.
Where's this thing? It says like we shall not be asleep and we shall be. It's these spiritual awakenings. He will always be knocking at your door, inviting you to step in and be more aligned with him so that you naturally begin. Oh, that's not a Bible.
Thanks, JDO. I appreciate you reminding me.
Anyway, I'm going to do more research and be sharing this with you guys. I think it's a really exciting time that we're in. And I think we all should be and can be. We can all make this choice to pay attention and make a choice for ourselves, and what are we going to be doing with our time during this time? What are you spending your money on? What are you spending your energy on? What are you spending your time on? Like right now, these are the choices to be thinking about.
If you'd listened to people and been a crazy prepper and you had bought, canned stuff and box stuff and that kind of stuff like 6 months ago, you would have saved. You'd be saving so much money. You would have got ridiculed by your family, whatever. But all those boxes of crap, you wouldn't have to buy. All your macaroni and cheeses and ramen and all that stuff. It's like you wouldn't have to. You would save so much money now. I wish I would have bought more. Like we don't eat a lot of that stuff, but like soup and things like that are literally doubling in price.
The canned stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then learning how to can. I mean, and we did a lot of that on the show. I did some videos with Mom about making your own bread and how to can things and all that kind of stuff. And my mom wrote a cookbook back when I was a kid, a little kid. There's pictures of me. I have like my little 1970s Dorothy Hamill haircut in here somewhere.
Oh, you got to find the picture now. That would be adorable. Dorothy Hamill, for people that don't know, was an ice skater.
Yes. In the 70s.
Yeah. Went to the Olympics. Like Bruce.
Well, you can't
Bruce
see. This is
Jenner.
back when publishing was, a little. But there's me and my siblings and my mom's friends' 2 kids. So there's the 4 of us, and then my mom's friends' 2 kids. I'm
Back
not
when
sure.
Bruce Jenner was a guy. It's still, but he was running for. I call him he, which is not. I mean, it's not politically right, but people. I think if you're under 40, under 45, under 40. You don't really understand, and you can't operate. And I've talked to kids about this when it first changed, and they're like, well, but it affected me a lot because, our generation, he wasn't like just a guy or just an athlete. He was the epitome of what you should attain, or strive to attain to be a man and an American. He was patriotic. He was like the super athlete. He was like what you should be. And so much of what I, especially not, growing up with a dad for, most of my life, like that was my idol, what I should be, what I'd strive to be. And so when he became a woman, it was very, traumatizing almost. And I remember all my kids, friends, and all of them were like, it shouldn't bother you. I was like, you know what? Picture this. Picture this guy, one of your idols, is in Playgirl, because I think he was in Playgirl. That's what did it. And going up, you see his boobs. They're like, there's his vagina, his penis gone. They're like, doesn't bother me. Then you scroll up, there's his head.
Sean, here is your reminder.
And it's Michael Jordan. All of them were like, oh, no,
Sean,
that's wrong.
Here is your reminder.
Not Michael Jordan. No, it's different. It's different. It's like, everything you're feeling at this moment right now, times it by 100 for me.
Well, so
that's how it is.
Public sent me something very disturbing through another app that it has encryption, and it was Miley Cyrus, and it's a shot of her dancing at a conference or at a concert. And it's you can see her back end up the dress, and she doesn't have any underwear on. And so you see her penis slinging in the front of her dress. And it was very weird that you could see her penis through her legs slinging back and forth.
Miley Cyrus is a girl.
Well, you would think that, but it's not the case in this video.
Well, let's jump over to my channel.
I don't know.
Like JDO says, almost time for the great jump. 7 minutes to the great change.
All right. Hey,
right,
thank you guys. Please give
me
a like over here.
Like before you leave, and like when you get over to my channel.
Here before you head over there. And thank you guys all for joining us over here at the New Normal.
See you over on my channel. Love y'all. Love you.
And we'll see you tomorrow with TPA, and I'll see you over at Satoshi Sean's here in a couple minutes. All right. See you in a minute. Let's see.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.